So, welcome back to the MANvFAT Wales Podcast. Here we are, and we've got with us Rich Perry from MANvFAT Bristol Central, because there's two Bristol leagues now, which is impressive. And this is a relaunch of the MANvFAT Wales Podcast, and I'm speaking to someone from England, which just shows the reach that MANvFAT Wales has. I had the pleasure of spending a little bit of time with Rich and his mates in MANvFAT Central over the past few months, and thought he'd be a real good guy to talk to and reach out to. So, Rich, do you want to introduce yourself?
So, yeah, as Stan said, I'm based at the Bristol Central MANvFAT League. We're going for 10 weeks, I think, officially now, but maybe a bit longer whilst we all got to sound ourselves out. I'm captain of the Reds, the suspension fridge raiders, and yeah, really enjoying it. Nice bunch of lads. More than happy to come on this podcast and chat some more about it.
I love, just so I can put it out there, I love a local name. So something that has something to do with the city as well. Suspension fridge raiders is absolutely nailed on. Love it. So I'm going to get straight into questions. Rich, why MANvFAT for you? Why was it MANvFAT, not, something else? Why was it not, a PT at the gym? Why was it not a Slimming World? Or why MANvFAT football?
I think the easiest answer is kudos to a friend of mine, Sam from MANvFAT in Ipswich. The more recent reason for signing up was his success. We played American football together at uni. We've been friends for years, sort of thing. And he was posting, as with MANvFAT, as much as you can put on Facebook as a bonus. And I started chatting to him, and he was very much just like, try it, see how you get on with it. He sort of sold the premise to me in like a competitive Slimming World kind of thing, where you go and you weigh. And I'm quite a competitive person. And he was like, you get your percentage badges and all this kind of, and it was just that discussion. But prior to that, I think pre-COVID, I was, I've always been a big guy. Like I said, I played the big guy sports, played rugby, played American football, always loved English football, refused to call it soccer. So for me, it was always like, if I can do sport, no matter what that is, I'm happy. So, I think from a weight loss perspective, it's something I wanted to do for a while, like drop a lot of weight. I am a big guy, hence why it's Big Rich, and that's absolutely fine to be called that in the league. But for me, it was like, I had done other diets, I've done personal training and stuff like that. And I think it's kind of like, it's what feels right for you. And I think like, the regularity of playing every Thursday night, how it's set up where you weigh, you're in the changing room, everyone's sort of supporting each other, having those discussions, tracking, talking about what they used to track, how they've tracked, what's actually on that, and then go out and, run around for half an hour, kicking the ball around as best you can. It's like, it kind of like brings all the pieces together. It's interesting though, because the first day we all sort of turned up and we were quiet. We were like a changing room of big guys that were quiet and shy, and I've never seen that before in any other circumstance. And I think the weight will be part of that. And then the next week you couldn't shut us up. It was like, how have you been? How'd you get on this week? Looking forward to tonight and all that. So yeah, I think like, again, chatting to Sam, seeing his posts on Facebook and just having that honest conversation, it was like a great timings wise. I was due to start a new job and stuff, so I was like, right, this is the chance to build it into a brand new routine.
Yeah. You mentioned there that you tried different diets. I'm not going to talk about what those different diets were, because there's loads of fad diets out there. There's loads of diets that they're really good for each different person. What is it you're doing now? Because we're going to come and talk about success later, so don't spoil this. But what is it you're doing that's giving you that success in terms of the diet? Because you said about going on the pitch, consistency, having fun, the camaraderie with the boys, and every great league, every great MANvFAT league has that. But what are you doing in terms of the diet? What's the secret?
So, it's the old cliche. It's doing more than just one thing. It's, I'm calorie counting, doing the exercise. I'm taking the time to do the exercise as well, not just, like putting it off for something else or just focusing on the Thursday. But without sounding too wishy-washy, I think it is mindset. I lost a lot of weight in the past. I lost like 6 stone over a year, whereas that was like that was a big mindset. I was diagnosed like diabetes, and I refused to it could go into remission if I lost a load of weight, and that happened. It was a great time. And obviously, I think anyone that's had weight loss journeys or, have been big people over their lives, they know it can sometimes go up and down and up and down, where this time around it's taking on the advice, not thinking I know everything. Coach Joe at Bristol Central, he's more than happy to take the time and talk. You again, absolutely fantastic. I think we send each other a few WhatsApps a week now, just like checking in and, sharing success. We'll go into the details if you want to talk about it later, but I ran my first 5K in about 3 years the other day at work on my lunch break, and it was like, I wouldn't thought I'd been able to run. I was like, well, let's see how far I can go. And it was like, well, actually, I've managed to push it to 5K, and I was happy. I've been on a bike for the first time in 10 years. So I think for me, it's like support of people around me, the change in my mindset. But I'm kind of like put this bit into words when you said, I knew you would talk about something like this. And I was like, well, when people say, oh, you won't do it if you're doing it for anybody else, and it's got to be for you and all that. And I think that's a weird concept, because I am doing this for me, but it's how it'll impact other parts of my life around that, you know what I mean? So it's just like, my wife, incredibly supportive. I want to be the best I can for her and my family life, all that kind of stuff. So I think like there's lots of bits that build into it, but I think, is it Tom on our team? He's the someone we lend to the other team when we haven't got enough players at the minute, and he's always great with the advice. And he threw out to try Huel, like the meal supplement kind of thing. Because I like salad. I eat lots of salad, eat lots of like cooked meats and stuff like that. And he was like, look, Huel is quite a nice, try it. You don't have to have it every meal, every lunchtime, every day sort of thing, but try it and see how you get on. So little plug for Huel there, but that's been really helpful as well.
All really, really good kind of things you've seen and you've kind of self-noticed. Like, there's two things you can do at lunchtime. You can run to the staff room table, you can run to the vending machine, you can run to the cafe, wherever it is in your place of work, or, you can go for a walk, you can go for a run. You can use your time wisely, and you can still get your fuel in, you can still get, a bit of food on the go, but you can, have a sandwich that you've packed the night before that, is packed with salad. And because you've made that conscious choice, actually, everything in the rest of the day becomes easier, because people think that the diet side of things is about, that's the main thing. And the exercise is just the stuff on top. And that's absolutely true. You can't outrun a thought. It's 95% diet, 5% is your exercise, and it's mainly for fitness, not for fatness. But actually, when you get those endorphins, when you get that, oh no, I did a 5K at lunchtime. It wasn't the fastest time I could ever possibly do, and I'm going to get better. But I'm not going to mess that up now, going home and picking up a Big Mac. I'm going to make a better choice. And when that becomes cyclical, and you keep doing it, and you're like, no, I'm not going to spoil it because I did that. And actually, I'm going to go for that run yesterday because I had that great meal last night. So I want to real nail it down. I want to aim for my 10%, my 5%, my 15%. That's what MANvFAT does for you. And when you get a good team around you, it definitely helps. I'm going to move us on to the next question now, because you kind of alluded to past success. What are the targets now? What are they in the long term and then in the short term?
So I've kind of got a goal in mind that I'm just keeping to myself. I've kind of got like this target which I'm sort of aiming towards, but I think for me it's like, the next step for me is the 10%. I'm short term, I'm hoping we play on a Thursday, so I'm hoping this Thursday is a chance of getting the 10%. I'm in quite a strong position for that. But also, if I don't, I'm not going to be disappointed. It's about, managing that expectation and how I do it moving forward. But for me, I think it is a lot of weight I want to lose. I think I've lost 2.5 stone. if I'm honest, there's probably like another 5 I want to get off. There's no time frame. It's not like, not doing it unhealthily. I want to do it sustainably. I want to get to, my targets and stuff like that, and then reassess and maybe lose more. Like my target is something I haven't been that weight. Like I got past that weight and never got back to it. So it's like, I'm 6'5". I'm a big guy. So it's like, for me, it's like, it's how I feel as well as how I look and stuff like that. You can stand on a scale and be like, right, okay, that's what I weigh, but what am I seeing? What am I sort of projecting, and how I'm feeling? I think is sort of it, if that makes sense.
It's always better with you've said a few really good things there. You've said about if I don't get 10% this week, I'll get it next week, as if to say, if I'm at 9.8% weight loss this week, I failed. No, 9.8 weight loss.
No,
just take it. But also the other thing you said about coming down sensibly and gradually and not going back up over that kind of ratchet mechanism. You just want to keep going down incrementally and just make sure you're not going back up and managing. And there will be times, the summer period when there's, last summer I got invited to 3 weddings in a week. Went to 3 weddings in a week, beer at every one of them, drinks at every one of them, food everywhere. That wasn't a good week. But, if you can manage those weeks within a lifestyle, it really does help. What are the struggles at the moment? What's going to stop you getting there?
It will be work, but mainly because where I work is a racetrack. It's a race circuit over in Castle Combe, and we celebrate a lot. And it's like, there's like the lovely team of people in the office, and if it's someone's birthday, then it's like cake and donuts and all that kind of stuff. And it is like the real willpower to fight against it, where you're like, no, I'm happy with my fuel. I enjoy your Krispy Kreme donut. And it's that sort of thing, whereas like I could eat free, even now, like I could eat free and it wouldn't touch the sides, but I've got to have that discipline, willpower to know that, Thursday's coming, I want to do this and I'm doing it for those right reasons. But I think when it comes to struggle, it's kind of like, it's a weird one, because I'm quite supported in it, like with the team, with family and friends. Like I think I sent you a notification the other day where my health app let me know that my resting heart rate had dropped by like 14 points in the last 9 weeks. So I didn't even know that's how that was tracking it. And it let me know. And then something about my VO2 max level or something. So your respiration when you're exercising has gone up as well. And I'm just like, that's like little boosts in the same way when I get on scales and stuff and I see I've lost weight. It's that sort of boost, and it's to share. And obviously Strava, like the boys put all their Strava, and Precious is doing lots of, like, he tracks his weight that he's lifting and stuff, and that'll be put in the WhatsApp group as well. And I think from a struggle perspective, it's the willpower side of things. That's the struggle. And I think that's the same for a lot of us. It's just, acknowledging them. And if you do, if I was to have a Krispy Kreme donut, for example, then you log it, and it's like it will replace something else. You keep within your calories, or you go for a little bit of a longer walk, and you try and avoid it. But if you do have it, don't beat yourself up about it. We're only human. But yeah, I think struggle, it's just so positive at the minute. It's just, everything's just going the way I would hope it would go. And yeah, the struggle I've got is other people in the team getting close to their 10%, and I want to be there first.
Definitely. The competitive edge, again, it's competitive edge. And you've mentioned something there about tracking as well being so important. And I know you've got probably the best coach in the UK in terms of tracking. He's constantly banging on about it. It's definitely
the scariest coach for tracking.
Yeah. All right. Now's the time. Success. I've got a few things written down here. Some that you've already mentioned. The track walks, but you've been saying you're running as well.
So the track is at Castle Combe. You can walk as a spectator around the entire racetrack, and that's about a 3 kilometre walk. So, I mean, a day like today, ridiculously hot. I know it's not going to be good for me to run it. So I went out for a walk, tracked it. It was, it takes about 34 minutes. to do the 3K. It's like up and down, and you know you have to try and avoid parts of when we have like police dogs come and get trained on some of the areas, and that's the bits you don't want to walk through, so you detour and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll do that. Like I said, I've started running around it. Did my first 5K around it the other day. But it's also, you know, tracking things like cycling. I've been on the bike for the first time in, like, say, it must be 10 years since I moved to Bristol. And again, like a duck to water, I just, really enjoyed it. I live in Portishead, so there's cycle routes wherever you want to go. We did things like, me and my wife have done the Strawberry Line route. Pubs nearby, you sort of do the lap of them and stuff like that without stopping, and sort of work your way back. But yeah, like success wise, it's just going great. Like I got my 5% certificate with 2 other boys, and you know, you were there for that one, and it was just, you could see it felt great. And then since then we've had more and more sort of hitting their 5% and celebrating the success of the other guys in the team as well, you know. So like, you know, we celebrate them, our successes within the football as well. We're a very competitive team, like, you know, Reds against Blues and stuff. We always want to win on the pitch, and then, you know, you see you can win 2-1, 2-0, whatever on the pitch, and then you come off and you've lost like 18-16 or something, you know. It's like, it's not one dimensional. There's a lot of different angles to it. And I think last Thursday we had like a quite an even-ish game. I think it finished 6-3 and we won something like 25-10. And, you know, that was tracking, that Joe's really pushing. That was a lot of us getting hat tricks, a lot of us, you know, losing weight and stuff. So, you know, as a whole, it's just, you know, success left, right and centre, everything's celebrated. And yeah, I think it's the way it's set up and the way Bristol Central is set up, like it's, you know, it's geared to win. You know, we've got so many teams like you guys over in Wales and stuff on our doorstep. We see things like the 11 side and stuff like that. We know we're a young team for now, but there's that desire moving forward to branch out, do other things around the country and get more involved.
Yeah, and you guys are smashing it. So 1.2 away from your 10%. You think that's happening this week? I'm hoping when this podcast goes out, we can put that as a strap line.
If I was a betting man, I'd say, yeah, I'd like to think I'll get my, jinx it now, but get my 10% this week would be, it would definitely be doable. You know what I mean? It's been good 4 or 5 days and there's only a couple of days left and there's nice weather, so there'll be some nice walks and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think, 10% is an attainable goal for this week.
Do you, talking about success now, do you find the wife is, you know, because you're wanting to be more active, do you think that's having an impact on that time you can spend together as well? Because I know when we're bigger and a bit more lethargic and we just prefer to sit on the sofa with a can of beer, actually walking, you know, and did you know as well, the pubs that you're not stopping at, they serve Pepsi Max? Because that's what happens. You hit 10% and you find that out as well. And you're like, actually, I can go into a pub and not drink 7 pints. I can just enjoy myself.
Well, I actually stopped drinking at the start of this as well. I've not had a beer in like 10 weeks and stuff as well. I'm not a big drink. I used to be, but I'm not a big drinker anyway. I'm more happy to be the designated driver. But, you know, we've had some birthday celebrations, a couple of barbecues and stuff like that. And I've stayed away. I just, you know, I'm training myself to be like, I'd rather just have a Diet Coke or some water or some squash or something, and that's sort of working as well. But I think, you know, when you are doing those routes and you are passing the pubs, I just keep going. But with the wife, I think she's over the moon at this. She was there when I did lose that original lot of weight the first time, and there's never like a pressure thing from her. She just wants me to be happy, and she knows I'm happy when I'm doing this, when I'm seeing the success, as you say, about these sort of things. And she's fully supporting. She'll be like, you know, I'll be like, we got to go. We say we're going down to the shop or to her sister's or something like that. And she'll be like, let's walk down. And we live at the top of the worst hill in Portishead. But I used to be like, I'll just drive. And then now it's like, cool. And it's sometimes my suggestion, you know, and it still sort of changes. And she'll stop and she'll say, like, she's my cheerleader and stuff. And she'll say, look, this is really good to see. Keep it up. And you know, it's like I said, you can do it for yourself, but it's all the other bits alongside it, which I think make it a success as well.
All right, then. All right. This leads us perfectly. You've done a great job here, Rich. Lead us perfectly in my last question. So what's next for you, and why should someone join MANvFAT? If you're going to sum it up, what would you say to them?
I'd say sign up straight away. If you have to get on a waiting list, you'll be contacted. You'll start a conversation with us before you even turn up on that first day. If you're not officially in a team, there's still the scope to come and watch and get to know the players and stuff like that. I think take the leap. I think as a big guy, you can be the happy, bubbly, everything's all good type person, but sometimes you can be shy. Like I said, that first day, you had a whole room full of us. Didn't know what to say, didn't know how to be. People were waiting in their cars in the car park before coming in to see the types of. I did it. I was like, oh god, I'm going to be the biggest guy. Am I the biggest guy? Like, but then it doesn't matter, because there's some guys on our team that are there whose BMI is well within how it's supposed to be part of our league and stuff like that, and they just as tired sometimes and see just as many benefits as the rest of us do for being part of it. So I think if anyone is sort of on the fence and not sure whether they want to join, again, reach out on our socials. You can ask us on, especially for Bristol Central, we've got a brand new Facebook page. I think the type of person I am, like I sort of run our Facebook page to help with new people that want to come in. I put our successes and stuff like that up when I can, but I also it's the wider message for MANvFAT. I've been able to have conversations with some of the marketing guys, and it's like, well, what can I do at the track where there is a huge male population of customers and people that come to our track? Reach out to them, open the door to MANvFAT to come and do that sort of thing. I believe in it, and I will ring that bell. More people that get involved, the bigger and better it'll become. I was really taken back by like the awards nights and stuff like that. The big one we had that happened recently. Was it up in you? I think you were part
Manchester.
of it. The Manchester one. And
yeah.
You see, you got like the comedian and stuff that came down, Tom, and it's just like we're a growing entity throughout the country and throughout the the element of football, and it's like people are moving past dreaded COVID now. They want to lose the weight they put back on in COVID. This is a great entry level way of doing it. You've got a friendly bunch of guys. We are competitive. We're all there for reasons, but it's like it's the right kind of competitiveness.
Yeah, definitely. Rich, thank you ever so much for spending the time chatting, talking through your journey, telling us about MANvFAT Bristol Central. Can't thank you enough. I'm going to let you finish, though, with 3 words to sum up MANvFAT football.
So I'm going to have to say supportive, fun, different.
Supportive, fun, different. Do you know what?
Yeah, I think it's very different to what I was expecting. Yeah,
they are 3 words that I can wholeheartedly stand behind. Thanks ever so much, Rich. Thanks for being here, mate.
No worries, Dan. Have a good one, mate.